Build 42 brings loads of new things, but many of them go under the radar. So, I've gathered 21 hidden mechanics you may not know about, ranging from brand new features to classic secrets that are now more vital than ever. Starting out with some hotkeys. Pressing Shift plus E near a vehicle will make you enter and automatically move to the driver's seat if possible. This one's a time saver and also could be a lifesaver. I am a fan of that one. There is also another Shift E function, and that is closing curtains. By pressing Shift and E, you avoid all of those extra clicks. Shoving a zombie exactly while they are in the vaulting animation over a window or fence results in a 100% guaranteed knockdown, given that you time it right. You can miss like I did just then, but it's not a massive issue. But if you can get the timing down, this can be very, very effective. And the bodies can pile up right below you without having to worry about the lunging zombies, also known as the bane of my existence. Anyway, this is a very effective combat method, as is the next one. If you hold the left Alt key whilst in the combat stance, this will force a ground attack. This is the most reliable way to target zombies currently being pinned under your feet, rather than swinging at standing ones. It's especially bad when fighting a lunging zombie, because if you swing and miss, that thing is grabbing you by the feet. Real quick, if you haven't already, hit subscribe. Let's try and hit 10%. Planting crops during a full moon provides them with the highest initial health, and you can check the current moon phase by looking at the picture in the foraging UI at night. And here are the initial health numbers you can get during each moon phase. Wearing reading glasses provides you with a 10% speed boost to reading, and this bonus works even if the player isn't short-sighted. So if you're reading a bunch of skill books, this could honestly save you a good chunk of time. If a pillow is placed on a bed, or you have it equipped, it will increase the quality and comfort of your sleep. Why did I just wake up with a full head of hair? Are these magical? But they don't only improve the pleasure you get in bed, you can also do it in a car. Also known as what are we talking about again? Right, pillows. So if you have a pillow in your inventory, or place one in the driver's seat of a car, you will gain the comfort benefit while sleeping, and this prevents the neck pain and uncomfortably cold debuffs that you often get while sleeping in vehicles or on the ground. When placing an item in the world, you can press Tab to raise it up a level, and there seems to be no limits on how many levels you can go up. For example, here we have the Great Crate Tower, and this goes all the way up to space. And even if you won't be able to see it, this gas can is going all the way up there and will be placed right on the top. And the cool thing is you can grab them as they still count as being on the ground. This one stayed hidden for quite a while. They have recently added a tooltip to shed some light on this feature. And on the topic of placing items, if you haven't already used the extended 3D placement, then you are missing out, because personally I love being able to decorate my base however I want, and placing items in certain ways adds realism and environmental storytelling, which I love. Once you place an item, you can right click to access the 3D menu, where you can move and rotate however you'd like. And if you would like to protect yourself on the internet whilst unlocking a whole library of content, then let me tell you about ExpressVPN, which I have been using for many things. Recently, I've been doing some editing on my laptop out in public, and this gives me the peace of mind that I can safely connect to unencrypted Wi-Fi networks and not have to worry about hackers stealing my information. Gaming-wise, it's useful too. You can switch regions to access different servers, while keeping your IP less exposed. Performance-wise, ExpressVPN boasts consistently faster speeds than any other provider. And by letting me swap my digital location to over 100 different countries, I can watch thousands of new shows across the streaming platforms. I recently connected to Belgium so I could watch Shaun of the Dead and Archer on Netflix. Plus, with their new tiered plans, you can get ExpressVPN for its lowest price ever, from $3.49 per month. So, find out how you can get up to 4 extra months by clicking the link in the description box below. That's expressvpn.com/Awpenheimer. One of, if not the greatest food sources in this game is a Holstein cow, because a single one can produce over 40 litres of milk per day, which is more than enough to keep you going, and we love milk.
A couple of glasses of milk. Lukewarm?
To receive that creamy goodness, you need to right click on each cow and select milking for each one. But if you've got a bunch of them, you can save some time by holding V to open up the radial menu. And from there you can click milk, which will fill every viable container in your inventory simultaneously. Who doesn't love a good time saver? You can easily build up max blacksmithing by dismantling gold or silver scrap into a sheet, then turning that sheet into 10 coins, melting that back into a sheet, making 10 coins, and infinitely repeating that process. Provided you have the tools and enough fuel, there's nothing stopping you from grinding this out and maxing out your blacksmithing level. You can mark duplicate items as unwanted to grade them out in all future loot containers. So here we have some skill books, and as we don't want duplicates, what I'm going to do is set these to unwanted, which will then help me out in the wild whilst looting, so I can ignore the books that I don't need. And in a way, the opposite of this is favoriting, which allows you to favorite any item in your inventory, practically making it safe, as you won't accidentally lose it whilst looting. It also makes it easier to bulk transfer. Being in combat stance whilst foraging is the perfect combination. Not only does it increase your search radius by 33%, it is actually the best way to level up the Nimble skill, as XP is awarded based on distance travelled. Nimble is notoriously hard to level up, but you can do 2-in-1 with the foraging, and you also get all of the goodies you find whilst foraging, so this is a win-win-win. Personally, I think Nimble is one of the most important skills in the game, like it really helps in combat and especially sticky situations. Your character will automatically drink any drink that is over 50% water content. This allows you to mix in different things for different results. Let's say you combine 51% water with 49% milk. This will automatically take in those calories and prevent you from becoming hungry until the whole drink is consumed. You could also mix in alcohol, be it alcohol and water, or adding a splash to your water-milk mixture. And this will reduce pain, boredom, and increase happiness. And throw in some coffee for that energy boost, and you have a perfect concoction, all of which is being consumed automatically when needed. And if you would like that to be a mega concoction, you can remove the bottle from a water dispenser, and that gives you a massive 15-litre container. And unlike buckets, you can auto drink from these. If you're struggling to tow a heavy vehicle, in fact any vehicle, because the towing sucks right now, what you can do is instead hitch it to the front of your car and drive in reverse. This is much more consistent and effective. You get better traction and avoid the constant, inefficient gear shifting. If you want to really improve towing, you should check out my latest video, as one of the mods improves it tenfold. Did you know umbrellas actually work in this game? By opening and equipping one, you will be protected from the rain, because nobody likes to get wet in this game. Although of course, it doesn't offer complete protection. If you want that, you can simply find or craft a poncho, which will give you 100% resistance, making every storm a breeze. If you have high exhaustion, you can sit on a downed zombie safely. This keeps them pinned down while allowing you to regain stamina much faster than standing. Because when it's at that point where it's taken 20 to 30 stomps to finish off a zombie, it's much smarter to just sit down and take a breather before carrying on. Or if you just want to flex, you can do some exercise on them. When sitting down, the animation to stand back up is pretty slow, but you can skip that by holding shift or your run key before pressing a movement key. So before this zombie gets to me, I hold shift, press W, and that makes me jump up with some real urgency. Sometimes you need to react real quick to a surprise zombie, so this could be an absolute lifesaver. If you hold the right mouse button and press E while standing near a tree or a bush with an axe, your character will automatically begin chopping. This bypasses manual clicking and is the fastest path to deforestation. There is an unbound keybind in the settings for pan camera. If you set this to a key, you can pan and look into the distance while walking, running, driving, or even whilst the game is paused. I'm a big fan of this one, because previously I used to just go in combat stance to look around, but this allows me to do that whilst also doing other things. As I mentioned, whilst walking I can actually look further ahead and look around without stopping my walk. Whilst pause could be an important one too, if you need to find an escape route, and obviously you can't go combat stance to look around, but with this you can actually analyze the whole situation, maybe find an escape route. This just gives you that extra advantage. And in a game like this, that is priceless. Just look at the vision I can get whilst driving. I can actually see what's coming up and hopefully avoid it. Yeah, this is going to come in very handy. There is also an option for pan while driving. This is what default looks like. Then if we enable this setting, you can see the camera is automatically panning to the direction I'm heading. I was about to say this setting should be on by default, but it does stop you from being able to pan yourself, so maybe having the control is better. To be fair though, this one seems pretty cool. I think I'm going to give it a go for a little longer. You can deactivate every alarm in a stack of watches all at once by placing them in your main inventory and toggling the alarm bell icon in the top right on and off, and for some reason that resets the rest of them, saving you a load of manual labour. So, with our newfound panning trick, the pause menu becomes even more valuable. However, there is more you can do here. Whilst pause, you can look through containers to take your time. You can also queue up transfers, or you could use it to properly evaluate a vehicle's condition. Now that is some efficiency. Locked, non-security doors can be silently removed with a hammer and screwdriver using the disassembly option. So often a shed or a basement is locked. You may be in a populated area so you can't be loud. And you may not have the tools to be breaking that door down. But this allows you to do that fairly quietly. And it's not hard to find a hammer or screwdriver. Okay, I lied, this is not quiet at all. But that's alright. Wow, this is a cool ass basement. I don't think I've ever seen this one before. These arcade machines would be very fun using one of the mods in my previous video, which you should totally check out, because I showcased an incredible arcade mod. Well guys, that is it for today. Let me know down below which one of these you found the most helpful. Leave a like, hit subscribe, have an amazing day, I'll see you in the next one, and peace.